first I could not understand your stories. So Srinivasacharya's guru means his teacher. Um, he's saying Vidyanidhi is saying that, and he was not just acting or anything. It genuinely happened to him that um, he forgot everything, whatever he had learned to teach, because he had basically taken Srinivas Acharya very lightly, not understanding really his glorious position. He was attached to him, no doubt. The whole village was attached to him. So Vidyanidhi, again, when he was approached by Srinivas Acharya, he said that, what can I teach you? I have forgotten everything. Maybe I didn't understand you properly, and Goddess Saraswati was upset on me, and this happened. Srinivasa was embarrassed to hear his teacher speak like this and immediately offered his obeisances, picked up his books and left. But he did not go home immediately. Srinivasa's parents had already been worried that their son might give up his studies at any time and become renounced. They were very, very scared. And when they did not see Srinivasa return home, Chaitanya began to search the neighborhood, but he searched in the vain. Upon returning home, however, he found Srinivasa in his room asleep, a book in his hand. Srinivasa was embarrassed to see his parents standing over him when he awoke, but he smiled and asked his mother for rice. After finishing his meal, the boy and his parents went to sleep for the night. So such were the pastimes of Srinivasa Acharya. He was not much interested in studies, yet because his mother and father was every parent want their children to be educated. So that's why he was trying to follow their desire. And suddenly a voice from the sky announced, this boy will master complete knowledge. So there was a Akashavani. The Akashavani said, this boy will master complete knowledge. I am Goddess Saraswati. By Sri Chaitanya's order, I have come myself to give Srinivasa the best education. So this Akashavani was given. The voice woke the entire household, but everyone was surprised to find no one other than themselves present. Srinivasa's parents were wonderstruck. They felt proud of their son and embraced him with great affection. See, both the parents were thinking that, oh, what will happen to my child if he's not educated? He will not be respected in the society very well. How will he do his living? It's the same mentality even today. Same thing. The parents think about the children that they should become educated, this and that. But they, even though they knew that he is a great personality, who's been blessed by Lord Jagannath, they, they'll have natural parental affection. So that always masks any other knowledge what they have about the children. Like Devaki knew that it is Supreme Lord, but by Yogamaya's power, she used to always think that he is my child. Of course, Yashoda did not even know that Krishna is supreme. Yashoda always knew only one thing, that he is my dear child. So Srinivasa's parents were also thinking that what will happen to my child. But then Goddess Saraswati decided that I know I should resolve this. It's getting too much. That it will be an impediment for Srinivasa Acharya as well. So let me just clear this issue. So there was an Akashavani which was heard by the household family, and it was spoken as such that he will become a great scholar. Don't worry about it. I will teach myself. Saraswati is saying, then what else you want? So Srinivasa's parents were wonderstruck. They felt proud of their son and embraced him with great affection. From that time on, Srinivasa did not bother to study any more mundane subjects. Rather, he remained merged in chanting Krishna's holy names and preaching his glories. Desiring to serve the lotus feet of Sri Janama and Veerachandra, I Nityananda Das narrate Prema Vilas. So, is it clear? So, we looked at the birth of Srinivasa Acharya and his bringing, how he was brought up, and how his childhood pastimes were. And we are going to enter very important pastimes of this wonderful Vaishnava, where when he's grown up now and he was what he does and how his pastimes unroll. Very, very important. So what I would do is this 15 minutes more, we can read a few more pages. Please really pay attention. And if you have any questions, please stop me and ask. So is it all clear till now for everyone? What really is happening in the story, and also it's just not the story which we try to connect. We all can know the story, but it is more than the story. Is the essence of the scripture is trying to connect to the qualities of the Vaishnava and glorifying the Vaishnava, how his mood was. So it is a service to us to acquire the angle of vision. So fourth Vilas, pastimes of Srinivasacharya prior to going to Vrindavan. All glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya. All glories to Nityananda Prabhu. All glories to Advaita Prabhu. All glories to the devotees of Lord Gauranga. One morning, Narahari Sarkar Thakur, who was on his way from Gazipur to Srikhanda, arrived at Narahari Sarkar. Narahari Sarkar is one of the greatest devotees of Mahaprabhu as well. An amazing Vaishnava. So who was on his way from Gazipur to Srikhanda, arrived at Srinivasa's house while the boy was bathing. Narahari Sarkar Thakur was astonished to see Srinivasa's golden complexion, and it reminded him strongly of Lord Chaitanya's golden form. It seemed to the Thakura that Lord Gauranga had personally appeared in Srinivasa's body. Narahari Sarkar could feel that Mahaprabhu has personally appeared, he has empowered him, he is Avesh, like how Nityananda Prabhu lived in Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's body for 11 years. Bhakti Rakshaka Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj says that. This is not a simple act what he has done. Nityananda Prabhu has embraced him, he has empowered him, he has lived in his body for 11 years. That is how it can happen. So that's why he was glorified as Nityananda Avesh. So similarly here, Srinivasacharya is being Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has embraced Srinivasa's body. Because of this, Narahari Sarkar Thakur at once understood the boy was not ordinary soul. Srinivasa offered his obeisances to Narahari Sarkar Thakur, who then politely asked, "My dear boy, what is your name?" "My name is Srinivasa." The boy humbly replied, "I live in the village of Chakandi and I'm your servant." If you all remember, whoever came with Radhavan Prabhu, we went to Srinivasacharya's Bhajan Kutir Ketori Kam. That was the name of that place earlier. It's Chakandi, and I'm your servant. As soon as Narahari Sarkar Thakur heard the name Srinivasa, he became joyful and immediately understood that the boy had been empowered by Lord Chaitanya. He embraced Srinivasa with great affection and soaked his body with tears of love. Narahari Sarkar Thakur then said, "Lord Nityananda is anxious about you. I also had a great desire to meet you, and now my desire has been fulfilled. Janava Mata and Veerachandra Prabhu have instructed me to send you to Vrindavan as soon as possible." So Janava Mata and Veerachandra Prabhu had instructed Narahari Sarkar to send Srinivasacharya to Vrindavan as soon as possible. But I did not know who you were until I found you just now. It is certainly Lord's mercy. So everything was planned. No, he did not even knew about Srinivasacharya, but he was sent by Janava Mataji and Veerachandra Prabhu that you go to this place, there will be a great devotee, send him to Vrindavan. That I happen to meet you. The Lord will manifest many wonderful pastimes through you in Vrindavan. After saying this, Narahari Sarkar Thakur departed. Srinivasa immediately felt his separation and became unhappy, his mind agitated by love of God. Unhappy means what? He can't stop himself to go to Vrindavan. He can't stop himself to be part of the service what the Lord wants. He actually wants to see the Lord. That is what he's hankering for. As he returned home, he sometimes cried, sometimes laughed, sometimes danced, and sometimes he rolled on the ground. He cried so loudly that his neighbors came to see what was the matter. His parents were especially surprised to see him in this state. He had become, in one way, jubilant and ecstatic in the love of God. And these are the symptoms of love of God when it appears in anyone's body, because they tend to act not normal and it appears to be mad, because what is normal for us is probably abnormal to them, and what is normal to them is abnormal to us, because we are tend to uh, live in a particular way, and we think that that is the sane way to live, that is the civilized way. But when you get advanced in devotion, then the way of living will change as well, and that way of living which we tend to practice. It's not about even practice. We don't. It's not a plane of practice. Here we practice. Oh, this is how you should sit. This is how you should do things. There it is when the higher devotional sentiments um, come down. It is not something which we go up and take it. It is coming down. It is descending, and when it descends, then the activities may appear as mad for us. So Nityananda Das is saying here that Srinivasacharya sometimes cried, sometimes laughed, sometimes danced. It's like madman. Mahaprabhu also displayed many sentiments like this. But these are not the mental sentiments. It is the heart which is moving the body. It is not just trying to reach the heart through our external shows. No, not just by practicing crying, we can feel Krishna in the heart. When Krishna is felt in the heart, we will cry automatically. So it is the other way around. It is descending. It is not ascending. So he sometimes cried, sometimes laughed, sometimes danced, and sometimes he rolled on the ground. He cried so loudly that his neighbors came to see what was the matter. His parents were especially surprised to see him in this state because they could not understand why he was crying. Finally, an old village Brahmana told his parents, "Listen carefully. When Srinivasa was bathing, he met Narhari Thakur Mahashai of Sri Khanda. He has been like this ever since that meeting. All of you should be patient and know that everything will be all right." So that particular personality, elderly man, Brahmana, said that Hari Sarkar Thakur met him while he was bathing. So don't worry, since then he is acting like this. It means that there is a higher purpose. As soon as Srinivasa heard Narhari's name, he became alert and began to smile. From that day on, however, he began to feel intense separation from Lord Chaitanya. Alas, he began to cry. I was unable to see the lotus feet of Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Nityananda Prabhu. I could not see the lotus feet of Advaita Prabhu, Swarup Damodar, and Rupa Goswami or Sanatana Goswami. I did not witness the Sankirtan of Lord Chaitanya and his associates. How unfortunate I am that I was not born while they were performing their pastime. This is the anguish, the agony, the separation he was feeling from Mahaprabhu and his associates and Mahaprabhu's pastimes, Sankirtan pastimes. Do we really feel the same? It's not we should imitate this, but we all have some connection to Mahaprabhu. We have some connection to his dham. Do we feel separation from Navadvip? People at least who have visited, we know how divine, how amazing, how deep, and how great Navadvip is. We cannot describe. Our hearts gets connected straight away. So uh, if we don't have any sort of attachment to that place, or if we don't feel that, if we don't feel hankering to that place, it means that somewhere we have not got the connection proper. So the process is like that. The process is to, again, it's not an artificial process to get connected, but it has to happen naturally. But we need to develop that eye, develop that connection. How will it come? By following properly the footsteps of Vaishnavas, by having proper service attitude, and by trying to approach that plane carefully. Then when we approach the abode properly, then we will know. So it's all about in one line. We have to develop the attachment to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu's philosophy, Mahaprabhu's family, Mahaprabhu's path, everything is Mahaprabhu for us. Gauranga Mahaprabhu is all in all for us. So if we develop an eye or a relationship or some connection, how do we develop again? Through Guru and Vaishnavas, Guru and Sadhus and Vaishnavas. So then we will have the same similar feeling, but not to that degree. But slightest degree will also move us a lot. So we should try to visit the holy places. We should hanker. We should not just get comfortable. Oh, this place is so nice. We will do our bhakti from here always. We should always feel that yes, there is a recharge which will happen when we go to the holy places with Vaishnavas especially. So Srinivasacharya is also, but his mood or his intensity of separation is very high. You cannot imitate that. It has to naturally descend. How he got these feelings naturally, because he, of course, was his great personality coming down, and also he was connected to great Vaishnavas like Narhari Sarkar Thakur. So he was feeling intense separation from Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Prabhu, his devotees, Sanatan Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, and Swarup Damodar. All these entities he was missing. He has only heard about them. He has never seen them, but he has got a very good, a clear idea of who they are and what their movement is. Srinivasa cried pathetically and condemned Providence for arranging his birth so late. He was missing them. He was thinking, why did I get birth so late? Few years before, I would have got an opportunity to be with them. Then a voice from the sky announced, "Oh Srinivasa, you are the personification of love of God. Love of God. He is the personification, means he is the entity of love of God. Do not lament. Soon you will propagate the glories of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna's pastimes, and you will inundate the entire country with love of God. Lord Chaitanya has sent two brothers, Rupa and Sanatan, to Vrindavan to compile devotional literature. They await you anxiously. Go quickly to Vrindavan. If you delay any longer, you may never get the chance to see them." So an Akashvani was spoken that he should leave to Vrindavan as quickly as possible so that he can meet Rupa and Sanatan, who had compiled wonderful Vaishnava scriptures, which were all the teachings of Mahaprabhu, and he had service. He had service there. So service is all in all. Service is the connecting thread. So everything was arranged for Srinivasa's service. Everyone who heard this miraculous voice was struck with wonder. Srinivasa's parents were happy to see that their child had become somewhat pacified. Understanding his father's heart, Srinivasa fondly asked him for something to eat, and his father immediately arranged many nice preparations and fed Srinivas with great affection. Srinivasa wondered, how will I leave my mother and go away? I am still young. How can I possibly go alone to Vrindavan? Still, the Supreme Lord desires that I go there. So we'll probably stop here, because wonderful pastimes will unroll to us tomorrow. So how he goes to Vrindavan, what happens and everything, so which we can see tomorrow. All right. So any questions? Please ask questions. No questions means it means that everything is clear.
Prabhu, what age is he in when he thinks that I'm too young to go to Vrindavan?
He is only in his teenage, Srinivasa. There's no proper mention of exact age.
Okay.
Maybe he's 12 or 13, so he's in his teenage. I think he goes when he was very young. So I'll do some more research and see if I can find exact age of Srinivasacharya when he left and everything. I can see if I can find it out for you tomorrow. but he was very young. He was in his very tender age. He was in his teenage. So he then leaves to Nilachal, and from Nilachal means Jagannath Puri. From Jagannath Puri he comes back because Gadadhar Pandit asks him to get a copy of Bhagavatam. Many things are there. So we'll get into his life deeply. We have just started now, and his life is very inspiring, and his qualities are very inspiring, and it moves everyone's heart. That is why even the name of the book is such, Prem Vilas. Vilas means, it is like um, it is moving us in the plane of love. So our hearts move by um, hearing such qualities of Vaishnavas, and such a renunciation, such dedication, and their and their degree of intensity of service attitude which they have got. Everything, all unlimited qualities a Vaishnava possess, like the Lord, which we will uncover as we go in coming days. Okay, so any other questions? Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So we will meet same time tomorrow, 3:30. So if you have any questions, please ask or send me a message. हरे कृष्ण वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री वैष्णवाचार्य श्रीनिवासाचार्य की जय। श्री नित्यानंद दास प्रभु की जय। प्रेमविलास ग्रंथ की जय। हरिकथामृत महोत्सव की जय। हृदय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण।